All right, you guys can start. Good luck. All right, hope they heard me. Yes, I see movement. Jason mulls to 6.
So we got this is a rematch from the last time Rich was here. We saw him play against Jason, and Jason was on bug depths that time, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I think the last time was on Bug Depths. It was
Yeah.
about
So a
3 weeks
little,
ago. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, a slight difference in that Jason's on turbo depths this time. So I'm not sure the slight differences in play of which matchup is better for on the depth side. If you want to be on turbo depths, if you want to be on bug depths versus a Delver player. Uh, but both seem pretty good. I mean, this Ghost Quarter is already like a big play. It feels like, but it's just going to name Pithing Needle on Wasteland. That's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, Pithing Needle on Wasteland is what Jason needs to lock this game, basically, to have a good
It's
chance of winning this game.
like Pithing Needle is pretty much solely in the deck to name Wasteland,
Right.
and to have it against a deck that's primary game plan is Wasteland is very good.
Yes, exactly. You articulated what I was trying to say way better.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got a 2-drop, and it looks like it's an Arcanist for Cali before passing it back.
Cool. And yeah, Jason very kindly confirming that it is naming Wasteland with his overlay there.
Sure ain't naming Oko. Turbo Depths don't really care about that.
Yes. And anybody wondering, the cardboard overlay, the cardboard live overlay is updated, so you can view Jason's list if you're curious.
A little bit of turbos, turbs, turbo towns.
Leon,
So
all kinds of confused.
Jason has a playmat with like a dragon that's like eyeballing this ghost quarter pretty hard.
Yeah. The Mats are telling us stories tonight, adding a lot of
Yeah.
drama.
Jason's like, get out of here with that. He plays an Urborg and slams a vampire hex mage.
Pretty good.
And he's playing through a daze here because he has that lotus petal. So unless
If you have a force here, do you fire it off?
I think if you have a force, you definitely do. Like, I don't think your force is going to get any better than snagging a combo piece. And because you're not going to get to interact with the depths part of the combo because of Pithing Needle, I think 100% if you have the counter magic, you fight over it. Um,
Yep.
Now, if Jason's on Turbo Depths, like, there's theoretical chance that he wants to spend that Lotus Petal playing a Veil, but that's probably good if he wants to trade pedal for that. I think I'm speaking too much, but if I were the
No,
Rug
no, no.
Delver player, I'd be jamming that force against that Hex Mage 100%.
Okay, so it kind of got out ahead of me because I was going to say you could not force it if you have a bolt in hand.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is what may have happened there. And a Delver drop. So this is looking good for Rich as of right now.
and he actually did play the Wasteland, even though he doesn't have a way to remove the Pithing Needle outside of Oko. But he chooses to play it, so that signifies that his hand is probably all gas.
His hand is probably Oko.
Well, that's what I mean. Like his hand is probably all gas or Oko.
Oh
In
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
he doesn't have to flash the Wasteland preemptively before an Oko if he doesn't need to.
Right. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Right.
But because he did, I assume that the last, I believe, 4 cards in his hand are all
He did.
action.
He did leave his wasteland open to be in Ghost Quarter, though. He could have held it.
Yeah, I think that if you're um, Jason, you actually do need to maintain enough mana to combo.
For
And
yeah.
and you can also and being able to combo at instant speed, um, I think you don't really fret a Oko too hard. And
Yeah.
also like any follow up Hex Mage as well can deal with an Oko cleanly. So
We've talked a lot about matchups tonight, and I know we're like already 6 turns into this game, but how do you feel about this matchup? Rug
I
Delver
mean,
versus Turbo Depths.
I think that the matchup still in it still feels to me like this is a better matchup for Turbo Depths. Um, just because Merit Lage itself is really difficult for the deck to deal with. But um, It looks like he's copying. We're about to find out. I believe he's probably copying Trop.
I missed what he. Let me see.
Yeah, I
What
can't
did
quite
you
read
copy
that.
with Trop? Thespian stage? Okay, thank you. Yeah, it is Trop.
Yeah, yeah. I figured he'd want the additional green source. Um, so to open up like a crop rotation line so he doesn't have to get rid of the petal. But yeah, the hidden mode on Vampire Hexmage is that it just kills a planeswalker.
Yes. That's a food in play, in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah, we need to like have Cali go into his kitchen or something and just get something out of the fridge. Use that for a token. All right, so Jason's in the tank here. He plays 2 mana, both of it being black. He's got another Hexmage. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't fire off this Hexmage on this Oko, I assume he has to have a crop rotation in his hand. If he,
Ooh, force.
there you go.
Moving
Yeah,
force. Yep.
yeah, that's an easy pitch there. And it looks like Cali's down to 1 card, but he's got a lot of action on the table.
Yeah. And I believe Jason's at 12. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
It's pretty interesting too, though, that like,
All right, Dark
um,
Depths.
yeah, it's like even despite all that, Jason is just close to winning the game outright.
Yep.
And he's threatening. He's not threatening the 20. No, he is threatening the 2020 because he's got Urborg.
Yes. Force negation
So
revealed.
this Delver might just be on blocking duty, which is fine because the Oko can elk the Lage. So
Yeah.
it's not a losing line or an insurmountable line.
Drawing a force negation there is pretty great too. Don't forget he can also elk Pithing Needle. With
Yeah, I mean,
priority.
if he elks Pithing Needle, you got to imagine that he then doesn't have to. If he elks the Pithing Needle, I imagine that he makes a Merit Legion response, so that way it can't be responded to with the Wasteland, and he doesn't have to wait an additional turn cycle.
Right, yeah. But then
And it looks like he's going to just clean up his hand a little bit more.
all right, brainstorm cast here from the yard.
I mean, what do you do here? Would you elk the Pithing Needle?
So he has a force negation in hand, so he can't get crop rotated really here. If you elk Pithing Needle, he creates a Merit Legion response. He then passes the turn with Delver as a blocker. If he tries to crop rotate, he counters it. And then elk Merit Lage on his next turn.
So that line just would lose to decay, but it would beat everything else.
All right, he's doing exactly that. He's turning it into an elk.
And Jason's going to go for it, yeah.
All right, so a Merit Lage is getting created here.
And now he has a 3/3, so he's got 23 power on the table.
All right, so now we got
But
an
now
elk and a Merit Lage.
I think going after the Urborg here is super smart. Never
Ooh, a
mind,
second Wasteland.
it was an easy choice because he had all these wastes.
Another Delver. Pretty good.
So now this Oko is looking real good. I mean, Jason's got
Oko
to
is
come
looking
in.
great at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I think you just send everything at. Well, you got to just send it all at Oko, right?
I mean, if you're rich, do you? No, you don't let Oko die. My bad. Never mind.
I mean, you can't let Oko die, but
No,
I'm trying to think of
yeah.
like what other out. I mean, I'm sorry, Jason can't sit back, right? Like
Yeah, he has to.
that's not
He has
that's
to
not a
attack
winning line for him.
something. He has to attack
Yeah.
somebody. All right, it's getting
It's
blocked.
pretty wild because like in that position, he still had a live draw to win. If he drew Sajiri step, he wins that game.
All right. He targets Merit Lodge with Elk, and he concedes. Okay,
Yeah,
so
Jason would pick
Rich
it up.
gets game one.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, bolts are tough, huh? I mean, it's Turbo Depths, and you know it's Turbo Depths because you saw game one Pithing Needle. So you can 100% put him on Turbo Depths if you're in Rich's position.
Right, right. Multi six
Which
looks
makes
like
me think
for.
that like if you're on Turbo Depths, there is argument that you might not even think that they're on Reclaimer.
True.
I mean, Jason happens to be on one Reclaimer, but you could put him on zero Reclaimer. So we see a turn one Pithing Needle from Jason, naming Wasteland again.
Yep.
That is possible that then, specifically because of Pithing Needle, that Rich could bring in the Ancient Grudge.
Yeah. Preordained cast here. Not the most exciting first turn, I guess.
No, I think that's fine. Like, I think that a turn one cantrip is actually a better start than turn one threat for Rich because Rich is the control deck in this matchup, right?
Yes. Fine Scotch,
Like
thanks for the gift sub. Appreciate it.
the 0% chance that his Delver on turn one without significant disruption is going to race a fast Merit Lage. So, but we see a force pitching Daze on a Thoughtseize. So whatever is in Cali's hand, he really wants to protect it.
What could he have?
I mean, Cali might just be like
Treadwell.
sitting on. He might just be sitting on like Submerge and knows that he just needs that, and or like he might have his one Vapor Snag. You know, like yeah, it was the Vapor Snag.
So he did bring in surgical. That answers that question. Rip
Yeah,
snag. Yep.
fourth
But
pitch
now
days would definitely protect that snag.
the snag is going to go in the yard now, though, and it could be, if things play out to Rich's favor, flashbacked.
Yeah, I mean, it means that you need to go into a play pattern that's similar to what happened last game, where you actually get to play at sorcery speed against the Merit Lage, which is, I mean, you got to you got to jump through a lot of hoops and
Don't
be on
count
the,
on it. Yeah.
yeah, you got to be on the front foot for that to happen for sure.
A lot needs to go well here for Rich.
I mean, Brainstorm's a good start to make it happen.
Yep. Agreed. Does he have
But
more than one Vapor Snag?
I don't believe
No,
so.
I think just
Yeah. I mean, if your hand just got Thoughtseize and then you draw Brainstorm off the top, I can't think of a better card to draw, right?
agreed.
So,
Submerge
a,
is still in his deck, worth pointing out.
yeah, a kind top deck on Cali's side could just fix his problems
Yep.
pretty well, especially since he gets to clean off the top of his deck as well.
Bottoms both of those. Okay, things
Yeah.
are looking good for Cali here. He gets a draw. All right. Oh, mosquito in my apartment.
Yo, fight it.
I'll kill it.
Double Thespian stage. I mean, Jason's also like a very good pilot. He might understand that Submerge is an out, and before he goes, if he has the option to cut himself off of his Bayou, he could take it.
Yeah.
Like
Xanthus
he's capable of like just ghost quartering his own Bayou if he has the luxury of playing around Submerge. So, if Jason is able to sniff out Submerge, he does have play against it.
Wasteland.
Exposed Wasteland.
3
I
cards
mean,
in hand for Jason. Go ahead.
again on that on Submerge though is that he's threatening this Merit Lage here, and if he has like a Crop Rot, Sajiri Step also just wins the game.
Yep, that's a Dark Depths on the bottom of your screen. Let's see. Does Jason go for it here, end step?
I I just don't see a reason why you don't, especially because I mean, the longer this game goes, the better it is for Rich, right? And you have a second. If you need to rebuild, you already have a second stage, so you're half of the way there. Like I think that you're turbo depths, right? You're there to jam.
CPM PhD, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you watching. Hello from the United States. I'm assuming you're in Canada.
You're right. There's a world where he if he wants to play conservative, I mean, Rich is got a howling mind with selection every turn. It's not going to get much better for Jason, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, Rich getting to look at a lot of cards here. So, some risk. Preordain? All right. Yeah, he's looking at a lot of cards. He's looking for that answer. If he doesn't have it already and just making Jason think he doesn't have it.
Well, I mean, if he was trying to put Jason on thinking that he might have something, I mean, he's obviously got to use his cantrips properly, but bottom on Preordain bodes very well for Jason just making a 20/20.
Yep.
And a shuffle, yeah. So like, Rich is telegraphing that he's going to be soft to this Merit Lage.
Yeah. Could be a bluff.
I mean, that's next level. If he somehow can get Jason into not pulling the trigger, that's I never want to play against Rich in a
yeah. I've never played against Rich myself. Have you played against him before?
I have. I don't believe I have, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I never ran into him. That I can remember.
I mean, if I have played, then I probably got just clinically dissected and lost and felt bad. Right? Like, probably a safe bet. I don't know. Like, what unplayable card from like 2009 was I trying to make happen? And he was just like, "Yeah, dude, daze that."
Oh man, that was good. Leon pointing out he is 1-0 lifetime versus Rich. Congratulations, Leon.
Yeah, we're showing it off over here. All right, so he's going to go for the 20/20.
All right, he's going for it.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Scoop. Yeah, jam those emotes. Is he mulling to 5, or is he thinking about what to put on bottom? We'll see.
We need the emote with like Jace the Mind Sculptor hands, except with like Leon's hands covered in rings.
Yeah. All right, he's keeping 6. And Rich starts us off here with a land pass.
Flooded Strand on the board.
Yeah, if you jam an emote 3 times, it shows up on the screen.
We need the Beetlejuice emote so that it can only be used in 3s.
Yep, Lotus Petal. Thoughtseize.
Lotus Petal, Thoughtseize, playing around Daze. And that's going to go all the way through. And there's that Daze that was rendered inefficient.
Well, it's an interesting hand for Rich. I mean, no way to deal with Merit Lages, turbo Merit Lages, but
this feels like it feels like a pretty naked hand to me, but you keep it because it has turn 1 interaction plus threat.
Yep.
What do you take here?
That's what I'm thinking about. Maybe Oko?
If your hand is capable of playing around Daze like he did the first time, I think it's got to be Oko, right? Because Oko is a backdoor out to Merit Lage while the other 2 don't do anything, and he's stranded without a cantrip.
Yeah. And, of course, all this depends on what Jason has in his hand, too, and we don't know that information. Oh, well, he goes for Oko.
Well, him going for Oko kind of does give Rich information on his hand, right? It lets him know that if he draws like a Brainstorm or something, that Daze is likely not going to be good enough. Because Jason can both play around it, and because he didn't take it, he has the capacity to play around it.
Yeah, that's true. So I think we're going to see a Dreadhorde drop here.
Yeah, for sure. There's nothing else to do.
And pass. Yep, that's exactly what it was.
Forest is good.
Sylvan Scrying.
Forced is good because it means that you're not dead. Demonic Tutor's pretty good, though.
Agreed. And it was a Dark Depths. I know that's off screen for those of you watching, but it is a Dark Depths you've searched. All right.
Yeah, Arcanist being just a 1/3 is not what Rich is looking for.
Well,
I mean, it's like without a cantrip, it's just going to give.
Yeah, it's just.
I mean,
sad.
it feels like a time. Yeah, it feels like a time walk in Jason's favor
Yeah.
when that happens. It feels like really lopsided.
If
And
Jason,
it's It's crazy because if he had a cantrip, it would feel just like like the ceiling and the floor on Arcanist is really wide.
If Jason's taking his turn thinking, wow, all that happened that turn is I took 1 damage, he's like, shrugs, okay, things are going well.
So his pithing needle is getting pierced. Do you pay for the pierce, even though you just thought seized to know that he doesn't have a wasteland in his hand?
Well, he knows Rich is trying to cut him off of lands, cut him off of mana permanently by casting the Spell Pierce and making his days just a little bit more powerful than it would have been.
Yeah, Jason's gonna play it. He fears wasteland more than
Yep.
it is.
And he
He's
dazes
gonna,
it, and okay, there you go. He dazes the Pithing
yeah.
Needle, and it is gone.
I wonder if that I guess that trade is good because
That's a 2
now
for 1 for Jason. Yeah.
it's 2 for 2 because he had to give up the Lotus Petal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So it's an even exchange, but it does clear the way for a Merit Lage.
Bolt.
So 7 coming in. That's going to put Jason to 10. But now he's just got a 20/20 coming back his way next turn. So this could just be a pretty ABC game for Turbo Depths, unless the top of Rich's deck has been very good. But without a cantrip, I don't think it has been.
All right, he drops the depths.
There's a lot of stakes on this Merit Lage team. This would be a championship tying 4 weeks in a row for Jason if this is good enough.
Yep. All right,
yeah, no
blocks.
cantrip off the top. So
Passes.
I think you jam. You
Does
got
it
to
make it
jam.
here?
Oh, I think you jam. He had no cantrip, which
about
means he has to naturally draw one of his outs. I think you got to go for it. What could be? He has a naked Arcanist. You know he doesn't have. You know what his hand was from before. Like no fixing. I can't see him not going for it. I don't know, chat. Before he does it, what do you think he's doing? He's got to go for it, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're done here. 20/20. Let's go. There it is.
Yeah, that's match.
Oh wow, and he had a crop left over. Jeez.
Let's tune in with the players. Phil, you can join the call.
Yeah.